Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. My thanks to Savannah Owens for filling in yesterday. North Hopkins is not alone in the quest to ratify a tax swap to benefit local school districts with additional state funds. Currently, 38 districts in Texas have either ratified or will soon vote on a tax swap. Early voting in the North Hopkins Independent School District tax swap ratification will move 13 cents from the interest and sinking tax rate to the maintenance operation tax rate. That election began Tuesday and continues throughout this week. The move will not increase local tax rates. Only one district, the 39th district in the list of districts voting this year, Denton Independent School District, did not ratify the swap in their vote. Burleson Independent School District was the first to ratify the move in this election period. Their vote on May 6th began a domino effect for the remainder of May, as votes for ratification were passed by Rice, Malone, and Eagle Pass school districts. Among 22 of the school districts that have ratified the tax swap are Chapel Hill, Troop, Rockdale, Port Arthur, Kuntz, Springtown, and Rivercrest. Raymondville approved the move September 9th. This month, North Hopkins, Bryan, and Mexia school districts will vote to ratify or not. For North Hopkins, the move will mean that additional money, as much as $251,000, will be available from the state for their school during this school year. That money will be used to purchase what Superintendent Darren Jolly calls big-ticket items, including transportation fleet needs, parking improvements and expansion, energy efficiency upgrades for increased savings, and instructional needs for facilities and equipment for the 21st century learning. Again, early voting by personal appearance began Tuesday. It ends October 2nd. Early voting hours are 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. each weekday, and from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. on October 2nd at the North Hopkins Independent School District office. Voting Election Day, October 6th, will be from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in the North Hopkins Independent School District Administration Board Room, which is located on Highway 71 West. Special Crimes Unit arrested Edward Ray Ryan Hilburn, age 38, of Sulphur Springs. The arrest was made Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. following an investigation into the illegal sale of methamphetamine. Over a period of time, Hilburn sold to SCU investigators in multiple buys of meth weighing over 1 gram but less than 4 grams in a drug-free zone. He's in Hopkins County Jail, currently charged with 2 counts of manufactured delivery controlled substance, penalty group 1, more than 1 gram but less than 4 grams in a drug-free zone. His bonds total $70,000. For almost 13 years, Cecil Savage informed the Hopkins County area with the news of the day. However, his greatest contribution to local listening would be heard on Tuesday and Friday nights and any other evening Wildcat sports were broadcast on KSST. His insight into sports made the game come alive for those listening to his football color or his baseball insights or his insights into the specific sport being broadcast. Many a Sulphur Springs athlete found their name called and praise given in an encouraging manner that made them feel their contribution had been much in the game. That was only a small part of what made Cecil great. For coaches, there was no greater friend than the man who asked the questions that enabled them to inform local sports fans regarding the finer points of the game, an understanding of the play called, the reason for that specific play or pitch presented, and his love for the game built the love of the high school sports community as they continued to grow in heart and mind as a fan. For those in the broadcast booth, the respect shown his fellow broadcasters proved a pleasant experience for those listening. The years Dick Caldwell and Cecil shared in broadcast were prime time listening. Cecil's voice carried a depth of meaning and an extension of enthusiasm for the game. Having invited Cecil to join the KSST crew and press box even after he had left the broadcast scene, it was apparent that he never lost a step in his broadcast finesse. The most difficult thing is to follow one who is so good at his job. However, he never failed to encourage others who made an attempt to do the work he was born to do. He was respected by those who observed his talent. However, he was loved by those who knew him. His contributions to KSST will long influence this organization. The community can be thankful to Bill Bradford for having given Cecil the opportunity to exercise his gift. Cecil left the area and the broadcast booth several years ago, according to the calendar. It was only yesterday to those who heard him and were drawn into the game, as Cecil crafted the words that gave a mental picture of what just happened on the field. In his final days, he continued to write of his experiences. He blogged about sports and weather and his sickness. Cancer is a hateful thing. Add to that the complications that Cecil faced, and it made for a fourth and long situation for his life. However, Cecil gave it a royal battle as he, with his wife at his side, fought tooth and toenail until the final day. He was to have been placed on hospice the day he died. He competed until the final whistle, just like he called every game to the end.
If you have seen the Ribeye Roundup poster, you know that Stoney LaRue is coming to town on October 6th, and that's a free concert downtown Sulphur Springs on Celebration Plaza. The whole day of October 6th is a celebration of beef, and it will be Beef Day in Hopkins County as well. Now, tickets are sold out for the steak dinner, but please do come down. Enjoy the Cattleman's Classic program in the afternoon at 2 o'clock inside the courthouse. Watch the cooking teams prepare the steaks for top prizes, and find yourself a place to eat downtown. Then be at the Stoney LaRue concert at 8 o'clock, and it is absolutely free. Let's meet some of our NetBio organizers. We got Dwight Bell.
Good morning.
Good morning. We've got Mario.
Good morning.
Mario Villarino.
That's correct. Good morning, everybody.
And we also have Brandon Bell.
Good morning.
Hi, Brandon. Thank you for coming over today.
Thank you for having us.
We have, well, it's very exciting, especially exciting for us this year for the Ribeye Roundup event. We have sold out of tickets.
This is right. We have. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, we hate to tell people that we're sold out because everybody wants to enjoy one of those delicious steaks, but we have sold out for dinner tickets, and there are other great restaurants down at the plaza, so we're inviting people to come on down, enjoy dinner at one of the restaurants there, and still participate in all of the activities. And we have the concert with Stoney LaRue at 8 o'clock, so it's free to everybody.
And Mario will be helping with the educational portion of the day. And during the planning process of this, it was decided how many tickets to print or how many tickets to offer. And so will that change next year?
Well, we're kind of limited on the amount that our culinary arts group can prepare for, but to the extent that they are able to increase that, we will certainly consider it.
Okay. And for the cooking teams portion, Brandon, how many do we have?
We've got 37 teams this year, 30 in the open category and 7 in the restaurant
category. Okay, so we're set for a real wonderful event.
Okay. We are. Yeah, we feel like everything is coming together. We are very thankful to the county this year for allowing us to use the large courtroom in the courthouse for our producer meetings. So that's allowing us to bring everything to the plaza. Okay. And that'll make it, we think, a great event. And of course, the city of Sulphur Springs just does a great job working with us every year on all of the things that they do to provide us with service down there to make it a great day.
And we haven't mentioned our concert yet.
Stoney LaRue.
That's enough said, I guess. People are wanting to come. If you don't have a ticket, if you didn't get a ticket, you don't have to have a ticket to see the concert.
No, even the educational part. You know, we have Trent Luz coming in, and we will display that majestic courthouse of ours, and people can actually walk in that big auditorium we have in the place, and actually they can actually participate in that if they would like to learn a little bit about the impact of the industry, the beef industry, not only in Texas but nationwide.
Trent Luce is quite a guy. He's entertaining and educational.
And it's something that the program actually, it is organized by a board. We have members of our community who are very well known and very aware of the situation that we live in these days. And so we actually come up with speakers who can address what we need to learn about, but also make it, fun enough for people to enjoy their time.
This is really a celebration of beef and those who produce it.
It is, and we really want all of the public not only to know how important it is to the economy in our area, but how much care and time that our producers take in producing what we want to be a really great product for the consumer when it ends up on their plate. And we take a lot of pride in all of the care that we give to our animals and all the way through that process. And that's really what NetBio is all about. It's about education of how to produce the beef, and also provides a marketing opportunity for producers to actually give them added dollars for the added value that they put into their cattle.
Well, back when it was formed and organized, NetBio, Northeast Texas Beef Improvement Organization, really had a need. And over the years, it hasn't diminished. The need is still there to help producers do their very best.
It really is, and the organization continues to grow. In fact, this year, it's been unbelievable. We're running 25% more calves through the sales this year, through the first 7 sales than what we did last year. We're on track to have a record year, and they have over 7,000 head of cattle that will be in the sale tomorrow. And then our regular November 15th sale is already completely maxed out at 9,000 head. And so we've added another sale to accommodate producers on the 29th of November, and we already have 4,000 head consigned to that sale as well. So we're going to sell probably 42,000 head of cattle this year through the 7 sales, or maybe more than that.
And this is something that I think is critical for people to remember. This, the program itself, is designed to promote animal health and well-being. Those are the major milestones of the program. It actually requires for those participants to actually be seen by the veterinarian before they can be sold. So that is something that our community has taken it, from heart. I know our producers are really concerned about the cattle. It's what they do because they love it. So when you give them an opportunity to create a product and market a product using the right tools, scientific-based research, basically, I think it hits them really hard, and that's what you're seeing out there. That's the main stone in a good market product.
Well, all 3 of you involved in NetBio, and Mario and Dwight here in Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County. Brandon's sort of headquarters over in the Quitman area.
That's right. Live in Rains County and work in Wood. So.
Okay, and where do you work?
I'm at Potts Feed Store.
Okay.
Yes,
and I know that you participated in some help for beef producers down in the flooding areas.
We did. Through the NetBio, we were able to put together several loads of square hay. That was their immediate needs when we first formed that. And we're able to get 3 loads of square hay within 3 or 4 days down, so that they could feed the cattle that were hung on levees or had nowhere to go and nothing to eat. So
it's a heartbreaking situation there for a while there.
It really was, and we worked directly with the South Texas Independent Cattlemen's group down there, Chuck Kiker, and they really appreciated all of the help from the people up in this area. Farm Bureau and Texas Heritage National Bank, Potts Feed Store, and others just come in, just individual ranchers that donated funds, and we were able to actually have the first load of square hay that was delivered into Winnie, Texas down there came from our NetBio group.
Well, on our NetBio event on October 6th, and that is a Friday evening or Friday through the day, What else might you need to share with us on that?
Our sponsors, we don't want to forget them, because without the sponsors, we could not do this. And so we want to give a shout out this morning to Texas Heritage National Bank, J. Hodge Chevrolet, to Sulphur Springs Livestock, and to Brookshire's. Brookshire's just does an outstanding job. They cut all the steaks for us. They do the ones for the competition just as close to the same as anybody could ever try to do. They make all of that available to us there at the plaza. It's just they do a great job, and they also come in with the major financial contribution in addition to doing all of that too. So appreciate all those sponsors. We couldn't do it without them.
Well, Dwight is headquartered at Texas Heritage National Bank. Mario is headquartered at the Extension Office.
That is correct. I also want to thank the commissioners and their support for this event. We have a proclamation for Beef Day on that day, so it will be an opportunity for everybody to participate at different levels. And if you are a producer, come over, enjoy the steak and enjoy a concert. And if you enjoy beef and you feel like this is something that fits your schedule and fits your desires, come over and join us and be part of it.
Okay. So if you don't have a ticket to eat steak, come down and watch the steak cooks in the competition, eat downtown somewhere, and be there for the Stoney LaRue concert at 8.
And the program will be open. The courthouse will be open for anybody who wants to join us and learn a little bit about the beef industry and the magnificent square that everybody can enjoy.
Yes, our celebration plaza
that is
for
correct.
Our Beef Celebration Day.
No, I'd like to also kind of take time to recognize the other people that really work hard on this. Not just for a little while, but really it starts almost a year ahead and works all the way up to this time. And Missy McClure, Century 21, that heads up our entertainment committee. Of course, you and Matt Dunn also serve on that committee and just have done a great job in getting Stoney here for us. We appreciate that. Pam Carter with the Culinary Arts group at the high schools. They'll be preparing all of the sides for the steaks, and they will also be manning the serving stations there. And Potts Feed Store, Quitman, Brandon heads up all of the steak cook-off itself, and he spends countless hours doing that throughout the year. And Ginger Bell, that works real close with the Net Bio group, and she's just the one that kind of keeps us all lined out and keeps us going. And Rebecca McDaniel and others on that committee just do a great job throughout the year.
I see Rodney Lennon hanging around our entertainment committee meetings too. He's probably listening over in Rains County.
Rodney's he is our board member, our producer board member that serves on that entertainment committee as well. And Brian Cummings, our president of the Net Bio from Van Zant County, also serves on our master committee with us. And it's just a good group of folks, and they all put in lots of hard work for this, and we appreciate all of them.
Thank you, and we will look forward to seeing each of you, Dwight and Mario and Brandon, at the Ribeye Roundup and Cattleman's Classic Net Bio event October 6th.
Thank you
for being in here this morning. We'll see you there.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
After the Paris loss last Friday, the Wildcats coaching staff is stressing finishing to the team this week in practice. I talked with Wildcats offensive coordinator Matt Young about the Paris game and about the White House defense that the Wildcats offense will match up with Friday night.
Inconsistent is the word kind of to sum it up. We did a lot of good things. I actually felt overall we were better Friday night than we were the week before, just our level of execution. Paris did some nice things and made some plays, and then at other times we did things that hurt us, whether it was just a band bust, maybe a bad step, maybe a poor route, not working to the next progression. I thought we had some guys do some really good things. I thought Norris English did some really good stuff up front for us. I thought Hayden Daniel was solid. Jesus Olivo was physical. I thought both Jermon, Brian Amos, and Logan Caton both played more physical than they had the previous two games. So definitely some positives. Just not finishing. The big thing is really looking to finish. We got down the red zone a couple times and weren't able to get touchdowns, and that's kind of the swing in the game. And so that's kind of we've been talking to the guys. We had a couple 3-and-outs. But those were, some things where we got aggressive coming out and weren't able to cash in, and other times we were aggressive and able to use it. So, we're trying to carry over from it and just talk about being consistent as a group, play after play, not trying to be Superman, not trying to be the next video that goes viral, really just about doing your job and making a play.
Finishing, obviously, is kind of the theme this week. And is that a state of mind? Is it just, concentrating on your assignment and, not lapsing in some of that? I mean, I don't know how you stress finishing.
Well, it's continuing focus, and really practice is a great way to get it, because toward the end of practice, you kind of fade. You kind of get distracted what I'm about to go do next. Oh, I'm tired. And really a drive is the same way. I've been out there 7 or 8 plays. I've done the same thing. We've moved the ball. You've got to remain focused in the details of what you're going to do. You got a chance to run a route and catch a touchdown. You got to make it a great route. You got to have a plan when it goes. If we're going to run the ball, and I don't just have to kind of block my guy, I do a great job blocking my guy. And that's what we're trying to develop and get going or maintain out there on the practice field. Is at the end of the day, do you still have that intensity you had at the start of the day?
The word we get is that you're playing White House, obviously, this week, and the word we get is perhaps this defense is the best they've had in a while there.
They were pretty good last year too.
Yeah.
They're very, very similar. They're new in the back end, with the best guy being back. The rest of the guys are young. And then up front, they're just like last year, extremely active, really good with their hands. And as a group, they run to the football. They take a lot of pride in it. And it's a really strong defense. It's a different front than we've seen. A little bit different personality-wise than maybe an Avalon or a Paris. But as a collective group, really good at what they do. They do a good job of mixing things up in the back end and not to make things difficult and complicated for your quarterback. And we've got a challenge on our hands offensively.
Used to think that we were looking at a mirror image of ourselves, but it seemed like they're kind of evolving on defense, and they have a new offensive coordinator, so they may be on that side of the ball too. But tell us about the defenses evolving.
Over the years, it's changed. They changed about 2 years ago. I think they changed fronts, brought in a new guy, and really used to be they were a lot more aggressive, saying, "Hey, we're going to stop you," or "We're not." Now they've really gotten just a lot more sound. Still have that aggressive attitude and demeanor, but more sound in what they do. They do a variety of things to take away things, not leave their guys in a bind. Instead of, hey, let's just be good at what we do, and if you're better than us, well, you win. But they do a great job. A lot of compliments to them, how they do it and what they go about, and just how hard they got their kids playing right now.
What's the importance of winning the last non-district game going into district? What's the importance of that?
Wins just sheer confidence. You feel better. You have more bounce in your step, especially after coming off a loss last week. You just kind of, I'm trying to think of the word here, but it basically builds on what you're trying to accomplish in practice. The kids see rewards from the time they're putting in. That's probably the greatest thing. We know we're continuing to get better. That happened last week. No matter as disappointed as we are with the loss, we are a better football team because of the work that we put in. The challenge is keeping that going this week. It's easier with a win to keep that momentum of practice going. I think our kids have a lot of confidence still right now that it's not shook from that, and I still think we're going to be a great football team. But this week's big. It's big to bounce back. Offensively, we've had 2 kind of slow weeks for us. We got to get a little hop in our step and get the ball in the end zone.
I also visited with Wildcats defensive coordinator Tristan Abram Tuesday morning. Coach Abram tells me about his defense against Paris, and he gives us a preview of the White House offense that his defense will be facing Friday night.
We did not play flawless like I wanted us to. We made a lot of mistakes, missed a lot of tackles, but everything that happened that I would consider negative, that a lot of people probably wouldn't even consider negative, but I would consider negative. They're all fixable mistakes, and with that being said, I think that anytime you hold anyone to 14 points in regulation, then you've done something positive. So I can't just be extremely negative with the guys, and they knew Friday night after the game I was pretty upset. Just because I know that we have talent and that we have the kids to be a dominant defense and to win football games, and when that doesn't happen, then I take it a little hard, but several of the guys, they actually saw my wife on Saturday afternoon eating lunch, and they were like, "Well, Coach was upset last night, but he was better this morning when we talked to him, and he had a lot of good things to say about the way we played, and they really did play well. It was just at crucial times we were making just these small minimal mistakes that actually turned into big deals whenever it came down to it. But my biggest deal is going back and thinking. In regulation in the fourth quarter, whenever Paris has to get a convert a fourth down, it was actually third and short, and then it goes to a fourth and short, and they bring in a big boy package. And last year when we played them, that was actually how they moved the ball on us. So we were ready for it this year, and we brought our big boys in and stoned them in the backfield 2 times in a row, and that was just the most exciting. In my mind, the most exciting part of that football game was to see our guys at that point in time know that, hey, this is us saying that you will not do it, and really dominating those 2 downs on the field during the game. And I'm just really pleased with, honestly, the effort that they gave. Like I said, we had some mess ups, but mentioned Calvin Eckert. There were several times whenever Calvin is on the opposite side of the field from where the ball's going, and he's chasing the ball carrier 10, 15 yards down the field and actually making a tackle. And I sent Calvin a text on Saturday telling him how proud of him I was for the effort. And whenever we have guys that are playing with that type of effort, more times than not, then we're gonna do a good job of containing offenses. And again, as I said, in regulation, holding them to 14 points. So I can't ask much more of those guys. Than to do what they did, just clean up the little mistakes that we did make. But with all that being said, it's time to move on, and here we go, get ready for a little bit of White House.
Do you subscribe to the theory that maybe their offense was on the field too long, that they flipped their 300-pounders, they pounded us and eventually wore us down? Do you buy that?
I think that some of the things that they did schematically, talking about the 300-pounders, there was one of those guys, the bigger one, number 74. As crazy as it sounds, I think that he did more damage by just standing up and getting in our way. And he created different paths for the running back, that if he would have gone to where he was supposed to go, that it would have closed off a path. So by him standing there, we had guys that were uncertain on where they should have fit, that actually put us in a bind a couple of times, just to be honest with you. So not taking anything away from those guys, but just a simple big guy standing up, getting in the way, and now my linebackers can't see around him, and a couple of D linemen can't get around him, created issues for us. But with all that being said, yes, there are things that we can do to help that situation. Whenever we come off the ball, if we'll go ahead and get hands on that guy and force him where we want him to go, then that can help clear things up for some of the defenders that are in the second level and third level that are trying to make plays. But again, there was a few things schematically that I thought that they did a good job of scheming us. They really did. They did a good job of scheming us. But ultimately, just one thing here or there could have helped us, minimize, one more touchdown maybe. It was just, to me, one of those nights where the ball just didn't bounce our way. And going back and thinking, there was one time whenever the quarterback actually threw the ball to nobody, and he was in the end zone when he threw the ball to nobody, and he was not outside the tackle box. So by rule, that's a safety. But we didn't get that call. There was a time whenever D. Dugan took the ball from the quarterback, and the whistle hadn't blown yet, but as he's running to the end zone, the whistle started to blow, and they called him down at that point in time. So there were just things that didn't go our way that night, that if they would have, then obviously it would have been a whole different outcome of the ball game.
Well, let's talk about White House a little bit. They've always seemed like had a fabulous offense, and they've been a handful, especially the last 4 or 5 years. So tell us about White House on offense.
Well, White House is very explosive. I'm sure if you go back to the past few years, whenever you've talked to me about White House, that's the first thing that I say every year, but it's the truth. They're extremely explosive. They always seem to find a quarterback that can deliver the ball to their receivers, who are extremely tall, extremely fast, fast, have unbelievable hands, do a great job of getting open. If you do have them covered, doing a great job of finding space to work to keep themselves open. And their O-line is probably fiction to be it's just total O-line, probably fiction to be the best that we've seen this season. They're extremely impressive. So our job is to, is to go out and try to minimize big plays, because they are a big play offense. So go try to minimize big plays, and something you're going to see a little different from White House this year is they're going to get under center some. They're going to get in a pro style offense. They're going to get in a wing set at times. They're going to get in just two back style offense that if you are a Sulphur Springs White House frequent game attender, you're going to see them doing some things that are a little bit different that we have to prepare for this year. So with that being said, it's almost like we're preparing for two different styles of offense, and trying to limit the explosion in both of them, because they can be explosive in both forms, and they do a really good job in both forms of offense. So we really have our hands full this week, and like I said, we're trying to minimize any explosive plays that they could get away with, trying to do a good job of containing their quarterback and containing some of those receivers and running back. They have a heck of a running back there in the backfield, and they'll bring in another or two more kids that can go back there that can run the football and put you in a bind. So we have to do a good job of fitting where we're supposed to fit, and then in a passing situation, dropping to where we're supposed to drop, cover who we're supposed to cover, and try to give our D line a little bit more time to see if they can work to the quarterback. But they do a good job of everything that they're doing. But I think that if we'll come out and play the way that we've played the past 3 weeks, then it can be exciting for us from our perspective on our side of the football.
The Saltillo Lions cross-country team finished third at the UT Arlington-hosted Gerald Ritchie Invitational at Lynn Creek Park in Arlington Saturday. Individually for the Lions, Walker McGill was 11th, Hendrick Rios was 14th, Branson McGill was 16th, Matt Gurley was 33rd, Trevor Moore was 37th, Lyle Bench 39th, and Dylan Beadle was 54th. Last Thursday, the Saltillo JV won a meet at Miller Grove, and Lion Garrett Tarver also won that JV race. The Miller Grove JV finished in second place. The Saltillo Junior High finished sixth at that Miller Grove meet, and Coy Collins was their top finisher in fourth place.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.